session will start now. Ordinances on second reading. One, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinance of the city of Brunswick, Title 15, Buildings and Construction, Chapter 15.40, Periodic Construction Fees. Two, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the city of New Brunswick, Title 17, Zoning, Chapter 17.02, 17.03, 17.05, Electric Vehicles. Resolutions. Approve agenda amendments. 2, approve payroll 2.1 to 2.14. 3, authorize refund for redeemed tax sale certificates. 4, approve request for use of city property requested by Delta Gamma Fraternity, location Bugalo Park, for 5K race to benefit Site First program, Sunday, April 26th, 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. 5, approve request for use of city property requested by Galilee Assembly of God Church, War Memorial Park, Christian Feeding Ministry, food distribution and religious services. Dates, multiple Sundays from February through December. 6, approve request for use of city property requested by Lighthouse Christian Fellowship, location War Memorial Park, preaching and distributing literature. Dates Saturday from February through December 2020. 7, approve request for street closing requested by Our Lady of Mount Carmel Roman Catholic Church, location Morris Street, George Livingston, for Good Friday procession, April 10th, 2020, time 7:15 to 8:15 p.m. Police extra duty. 8, approve request for street closing requested by New Labor Education and Training Institute, location to begin at 222 Livingston Avenue, a march commemorating Workers' Memorial Day, Sunday, April 26, 2020, time 2 to 3 p.m. Police extra duty. 9, approve emergency temporary appropriations for 2020. 10, approve request for street closing requested by Rutgers University Department of Student Centers and Activities, location College Avenue between Bartlett and Senior Street, annual hot dog day event for Rutgers student. Wednesday, April 22nd, 2020, rain date Thursday, April 23rd, 2020, time 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Police extra duty. 11, approve request for use of city property requested by New Brunswick Recreation, location Recreation Park for New Brunswick Recreation Department Day of Fun, Saturday, May 16th, 2020, time 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Police extra duty. 12, approve payment for emergency procurement water utility, repair of emergency generators at the water treatment plant, Cooper Friedman Electric Supply Company Incorporated, not to exceed $1,520.20. PO number E27165. 13, authorize professional service agreement with McManaman, Scotland and Bauman LLC for legal counsel services for housing and rehab matters. Term 12-month period commencing February 20th, 2020, ending February 19th, 2021, and thereafter for an additional 12 months should the city so desire, not to exceed $25,000, fair and open. 14, approve payment for emergency procurement water utility, repair of 3 service lines at 320 and 322 Somerset Street and 22 Cortlandt Street, NAPI Contractors Corporation, not to exceed $19,540, PO E28614. 15, approve award contract with CI Technologies Incorporated for annual maintenance contract for IA Pro proprietary software for the police department. Term 12-month period commencing February 1st, 2020 and ending January 31st, 2021, not to exceed $1,167.33, non-pro-tum. 16, authorized purchase by police department under the New Jersey Start Contract M048340166, computer equipment, peripherals, and related services with CDW Government Incorporated for 1 Microsoft Surface laptop computer, not to exceed $2,015.23. 17, approve award of contract with Barker Transmission Center for transmission repair services for the police department, 12-month period commencing March 3rd, 2020 and ending March 2nd, 2021. Specification number 819-20P, not to exceed $15,000. 18, approve amendment of resolution R-011957 to pay outstanding invoices of $1,000 with Bridgewater Veterinary Hospital for veterinary services for the canine unit Odin and Moose for the police department, not to exceed $1,000. 19, approve amendment of resolution R-012084 Reason to pay outstanding invoices of $317.40 for 2019 invoices with Associated Humane Society Incorporated for kennel services for the Division of Animal Control, not to exceed $317.40. 20, authorized purchase by Police Department under Cranford Police Cooperative Pricing System Identifier 47 CPCPS, Bayer of Morristown LLC, 2020 Dodge Durango, not to exceed $31,139. 21, approved purchase by Police Department under NJ Start Contract M003-89851, software license and related services from SHI International for software for the Police Department, not to exceed $1,110.54. 22, approve appointment of counsel, Dvorak and Associates LLC, for representation of Police Officer Eric Brown in the matter of Oscar Aparicio Niento and Joshua Santiago et al. On punitive damages not to exceed $10,000. 23, authorize tax collector to transfer overpayments on several tax and utility accounts. 24, approve resolution for New Brunswick Civic League for congratulatory 75th anniversary. 25, approve renewal contract for the Dial a Ride program for 2020 with State New Jersey Department of Human Services, term January 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2020, amount $28,158, non-pro-ton. 26, approve transfer of appropriation reserves for 2020 municipal budget. 27, approve amendment of resolution R-01054, reason additional amount of $7,440 of Bridgewater Veterinary Hospital for veterinary services for the canine unit for the police department not to exceed $7,440. 28, authorized purchase by police department under New Jersey State Contract number 17, Fleet-00763T-0106-LAW, enforcement firearms equipment and supplies from Lanigan Associates Incorporated. For 34 bulletproof vests for the police department, not to exceed $24,010.80. 29, award professional service agreement with Dermot O'Grady doing business as Law Enforcement Solutions LLC for internal affairs and service training for the police department, not to exceed $8,250. 30, approve appointment of counsel to Dvorak and Associates LLC for representation of Police Detective Jamal James in the matter of Oscar Aparicio Niento v. Joshua Santiago et al. On punitive damages not to exceed $10,000. 31, authorized purchase by Police Department under NJ State Contract T-0109-83921, radio communication equipment and accessories from MicroStrategies Incorporated for service with accessories not to exceed $22,349.86. 32, authorized purchase by Police Department under State Contract A85943 T-1776, Data Communications Network Services, Verizon Business Network Services, Private Data Line Service, February 11, 2020 to February 10, 2021, not to exceed $28,509, non-pro-ton. 33, authorized refund to Dover Mule Mortgage Incorporated against Block 720, Lot 008.01, 1 Crest Road against taxes due to 100% veteran exemption. 34, authorized purchase by the Police Department under New Jersey State-approved Co-op 65MCES, CCPS, the Educational Services Commission of the New Jersey Pricing System, from Bayer of Morristown LLC, for 2020 Dodge Durango with options not to exceed $38,583.25. 35, approve award of contract with Critical Response Group Incorporated for proprietary software for the Police Department, not to exceed $5,490. 36, approve relaxation of the city noise ordinance requested by New Jersey Department of Transportation to replace a section of vitrified clay pipe on Route 172 George Street, just before the traffic circle at Riders Lane. Dates February 5, 6, 10, 11, and 12, 2020. Alternate dates February 13, 14, 17, 2020. Hours 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Non-pro-ton. 37, release of site performance bond and the guarantee of $275,000 to 760 Jersey Avenue LLC, CO Wick Companies LLC, for 760 Jersey Avenue, Block 598, Lot 3.03. 38, approve release of site inspection fees in the amount of $1,894.88 to Arnold Garcia for 340 to 346 Seaman Street, Block 183, Lot 32.01, 35, and 36. 39, release of site performance guarantee in the amount of $29,616 and balance of site inspection fees of $534 to Aldi Incorporated, Lot 596.01, Lot 9.01. 40, approve amendment of Resolution R-121975 for additional funds to pay December 2019 invoices with Aetna U.S. Healthcare, term July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2020, amount $12,868.18. 41, approve award of contract with On-Site Fleet Service Incorporated, emergency vehicles, parts, and repair services for the fire department. 12-month term commencing February 20th, 2020, ending February 19th, 2021, specification number 810-19P, not to exceed $100,000. 42, approve award of contract with Mott McDonald Group, doing business as Mott McDonald LLC for 2020 miscellaneous supplemental engineering services, specification number 935-20 RFP, not to exceed $70,000, fair and open. 43, authorization to furnish and install 190 new decorative street light poles and associated wiring in connection with the Livingston Avenue Complete Streets project, not to exceed $388,528.33. 44, authorize submission of the Neighborhood Preservation Program action plan to the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for Esperanza neighborhood improvements to quality of life and economic conditions. 45, authorize agreement with New Brunswick Tomorrow for Neighborhood Preservation Program, Esperanza neighborhood, not to exceed $125,000. 46, authorize refund to Nancy Moncada against taxes on block 745, lot 011, 55 South Pennington Road, in the amount of $1,338.71 due to duplicate payment. Then items for discussion by council and public comment. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Egan.
Here.
Councilmember Escobar.
Here.
Councilmember Fleming is absent. Council President Anderson is absent. Council Vice President Sikora Little.
Here. Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act have been complied with and satisfied, and that the annual notice receives sufficient notice of the time and place and conduct of all public meetings of the Municipal Council of the City of New Brunswick has been filed with the city clerk, has been placed on the appropriate bulletin board in the lobby of City Hall, New Brunswick, New Jersey, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the City of New Brunswick, naming the whole news. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing if you can for a moment of silence, honoring all of our military men who are fighting now and who have served in the past. Thank you.
Motion to approve the minutes?
Second?
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Council Vice President Sikora Ludwig.
Yes. Ordinances on, do we have any reported correspondence?
Yes. Item 1, a preliminary equalization table for the year 2020 from the County of Middlesex. Item 2, a letter from Ransom Consulting LLC regarding a remedial action protectiveness biennial certification form for 97 to 99 Jersey Avenue. Item 3, a letter from Kelso and Burgess, attorneys at law, regarding a modification to approved site plan application for NB Hotel Group LLC. Item 4, a letter from ERM regarding an environmental remediation for 1010 Jersey Avenue. Item 5, a notice from Franklin Township regarding an application requesting preliminary and final major subdivision and site plan approvals. Item 6, a letter from George W. Baru, attorney at law, requesting a final inspection and the release of the site performance guarantee for 16 Prosper Street. The correspondence will be forwarded to the appropriate departments for further action.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have no public hearings tonight. Ordinances on second reading. 1, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 15, Buildings and Construction, Chapter 15.40, Periodic Inspections. Does anybody like to comment from the public?
Good evening. Council Vice President, members of the council. I just wanted to know how much are the fees being increased and why?
There's no change to the fees. Specifically, there was some duplicative language in here that had the old rent registration fees from back in the 90s, early 2000s, before the whole rent control system was revamped in the circa 03, 04. So it had a $5 or $10 fee in here that was not applicable anymore. No one ever used, and it duplicated with the rent control ordinance, so it was just struck from.
So that's the only change?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is there any other public comment? Seeing none?
The ordinance?
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Number 2, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 17, zoning, chapters 17.02, 17.03, and 17.05, electric vehicles. Does anyone from the public want to comment on this?
Good evening once again, Charles Prattville, New Brunswick Today. I'd like to know what the parameters are of this and how does it compare to other New Jersey towns?
Certainly. So the particular parameters of the electric vehicle. So let's see. For non-residential development, it would be 1 space for every 25 parking spaces. And for developments of more than 10 dwelling units, either a 5% of their stalls should be a level 1 charger or 3% a level 2 charger. Smaller residential developments will not be impacted. This is for the electric vehicle component because that's sort of like a general catch-all in the ordinance, whereas this also does cover bicycle parking changes and some modest amendments to existing lot size minimums for rebuilds of damaged buildings.
How does this compare to other towns, like urban areas perhaps?
Yeah, I don't know about urban areas, but I know some of our neighbors like Piscataway and I think East Brunswick have recently adopted electric vehicle requirements in the last year or so. I think these are modestly more aggressive than the ones that they've adopted.
Okay. And just to be clear, like downtown, would there be a difference downtown versus, the sort of neighborhoods?
This is a catch-all. If you fall under this umbrella, you've got to provide it or seek a variance for it and provide justification for not providing the parking.
Gotcha. Does that include structure parking as well as surface parking, or?
I mean, I don't think this applies to necessarily, if you're asking the parking authority, I don't think it necessarily applies to them, but it would apply to certainly any other developers who are developing residential, commercial, mixed-use buildings throughout town. They would be obligated to meet these standards.
So private parking decks would have to include this?
Yeah.
And how exactly would this be enforced? This would be in the planning and zoning process? It would be, is it a requirement that?
So if they don't
could be
have
a
that,
variance?
yeah, it would be a variance if they can't provide it.
Okay, so, that's all. Thank you.
Is there any other public comment?
The ordinance?
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Now we have resolutions 1 through 46. Does anyone want to comment on this?
Hi, yes, Danielle Moore, 333 Somerset Street. Resolution number 43, about the light poles, and if you can give me information about this, was it cost $383,000, where I thought this was connected to the $6.4 million to repair Livingston Avenue? Mr. Williams, did you know?
Yes, absolutely, it is connected to the project. However, in 1936, I believe, the city vacated a number of roadways to create the county highway department. In that agreement, we agreed to pay for the streetlights and also plow the road. So we're still bound by that agreement. We're always responsible to pay for the poles and the wire, and then the light fixture itself is done on a monthly basis. We currently pay for all the streetlights along Livingston Avenue and Easton Avenue, whatever other county roads are within the city.
Thank
Well, by on record, as many times as I've complained about the city lights on, where they were too dull about changing the bulb, that was where Mr. Bentley said that was the county. As dark as, Livingston Avenue, it was their responsibility.
Is there a difference between the maintenance and?
It is a county right of way. We actually report on the lights. We have a portal in town, I think through the mayor's office. Every time Ms. Moore would make a complaint, I literally drive down Livingston Ave after the meeting. I secure the poll numbers and we report it. In some cases, the lights were fixed quickly. Other cases, they took weeks or months, depending on the nature of the issue.
No, what I'm saying is due to where I want to ask you to changing, not turning the light on, change due to where some of the bulbs was too dull, and about changing the light bulbs to make them brighter due to where I would like to know for future, what is the city able to do that, or is that the county?
Every street light in the city of New Brunswick is the city's responsibility. It is, whether it's a state right of way, whether it's a city right of way, whether it's a county right of way. We pay for every street light.
Mr. Valencia, can you explain maybe the difference, maybe the confusion, and I might be incorrect, but I'm just trying to clear.
Well, Ms. Moore's asking.
PSC&G
Yes,
is responsible for some poles, and they're the ones that
correct.
change the lights to those.
That is correct.
So maybe that's why it's the confusion.
We pay a monthly service charge depending on the type of light. That value, that service charge varies slightly. For example, the decorative poles, they tend to be higher. The kind of poles, the lights you may see off of a wooden pole, that fee tends to be less. To answer her question regarding trying to change out the type of bulb, that is much more difficult to get public service to accommodate other than repairing it and then getting it done, getting it relit.
Because wow, I will go through the records, and like I said, due to where plenty of times, I'm so glad everything is recorded now, hearing due to where I was told so many times that, wow, it could not be done, and now to hear Mr. Valenti saying, okay, that New Brunswick was able to do it. I will go through the video to identify what date and all where he said that, wow, you could not change, the city could not do anything to the lights, that it was the county. For instance, the street lights toward Elizabeth Avenue due to where they're white light bulbs and they're dull.
For now, you can bring this up here.
Well, like I said, it's part of the resolution, and that's why I'm wondering what the difference is, even though, like I said, I do see, but I will look under record. I know what was said, and like I said, I'm glad everything is under video. Thank you.
Are there any other public comments on the resolutions only?
Good evening, Charles Pratt of New Brunswick, New Brunswick today. I'd like to ask about a couple on page 4 and 5. The one that ends in 82 and the one that ends in 90. This is apparently a lawsuit. The city or the police department defendants in this lawsuit, and if so, what's the nature?
Do you have any?
Yeah, this is a lawsuit that emanated from a fight that took place on school property. And the Brunswick police officers were named in it. These two officers in the resolutions have punitive damage counts against them, and as a regular matter, we have to provide defense on punitive damage issues. The insurance fund, the Middlesex County JIF, is defending us on the other counts as well as the city. But it was a fight apparently between two individuals on school property.
Right. And the officers get to pick the firm.
On the punitive damage count, correct.
Okay. And they both pick the same firm.
Yes, which actually I was quite happy about because there's economies of scale here. Appearances wouldn't be charged double, they would be charged 1/2 to each particular client. So we don't see this often, and this is something that I was quite excited about, to be honest with you, Councilman Vice President.
Fair enough. And I have to ask, is this a firm owned by a relative of the former mayor?
I don't know how the familiar relationships work anymore, but it's Lori Dvorak, who has got a law office in town. She's done JIF work for years, her and her firm. What's that?
I just read she's not in New Brunswick.
Oh, she moved out of New Brunswick.
Yeah, they're gonna touch it now, right?
Yeah, well, still Middlesex, Canada.
So you're not sure if this is a relative of the former mayor?
May not be anymore.
Okay. And then, on page 6, ends in 97, 760 Jersey Avenue. Performance bond of $275,000 being released. What is the status of the project, the warehouse? Is it open? Is it got a
This is
seal?
specific to the large thing that has the salt. That is.
Oh, this is the cow floor.
This is the Calclor location. This is, actually, the project's been completed some time. They had one or two minor issues that had to be resolved in order to release the site performance guarantee.
Forgive me, it's hard to keep track of all the warehouses that WIC companies have. Thank you.
Is there any more public comment on resolutions only?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank the.
Give your name and address, please.
My name is Morelli Fonseca, I'm a business owner in town, on French Street. I'm with the Esperanza Project Committee in New Brunswick tomorrow. I want to thank the council and Rebecca for supporting the project neighborhood preservation program. As a business owner on French Street, I think the program is awesome, it's great. It will change definitely the facade of French Street and surroundings. And for business owners like my business, we need people in this area of the street. As you see on Thompson Street on over, it's a little bit different than the rest of the street. So definitely the program, it will change the whole French Street. It's not that, it will be different for people to come over and not only have a good meal on French Street, but also walk around and see the murals. Everything will definitely change, not only for me, but for other people, to bring more competition on that street. So I just want to thank everyone for the great job, and Esperanza and New Brunswick tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment on the resolutions only? Seeing none?
Move the resolutions.
Second?
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes, I'm staying on 22, 30, 44, and 45.
44.
And 45.
Duly noted.
Thank you.
Council Vice President.
Yes.
Corrigan.
Do we have any items that we want to discuss with the council? I'll open the floor to the public for comment. You have 5 minutes, one time up.
Hi, yes, once again, Daniel Murphy, 33 Somerset Street. I did want to thank President Anderson and the workers that he assigned to, when I gave him the list for the street lights to be turned on. Thank you, I do thank him for that when they're all on again, thank you. I do want to thank President Anderson and the fire department for immediately removing the wire from Somerset Street that was causing a little danger, thank you. I do want to say thank you to Captain Miller, Lieutenant Trigg, and his officers due to where the health and safety they issued to us yesterday with our protest, making sure the roads are all safe to cross with our protesting. I do thank them on that wonderful job on that. And if I, due to where I wasn't here when you first came, may I meet who the new engineer is? Is he here today? Well, I was told that he was going to be a new engineer, so due to where the new engineer will be in charge of handling French and Saddam Street with the county.
He's on here.
Well, someday if someone can give me information where I can sit down and talk to him due to where the county is still expecting to hear from him regards to French Street and Saddam. Wow, I will say I'm very disappointed. I do see the signs up on Livingston Avenue, but wow, like I said, I'm so glad everything is on video. A very disappointment due to where that was not what was supposed to be put up, regular pedestrian signs. for 2 years, all on video, due to where Mr. Valenti said also that it was supposed to be the flasher school zone to slow the traffic down when the kids are getting out of school. And believe me, I proved to you all, wow, why it was necessary, because wow, I showed you when, and I gave the pictures to Mr. Valenti.
He did describe last meeting, he said.
But yes, like I said, they're just regular pedestrian signs, nothing really to say, like I said, to alert that school is out at the time, that's in front of all the schools. And how he said that that's what it was gonna be, I will say, wow, I do miss you, Mr. Loughlin, for being in that chair over there where he would make sure that things are done the right way, what's to be said. Thank you. And then far as, wow, Jersey Avenue, wow, I'm asking you, please, and I will speak to the Board of Education, please do not build that school there, due to where, wow, that is, remember, still a flood zone there, wow, due to where the project was never cleared, with Joyce Comer Avenue, with the sewage and that stream mixing in together, where, wow, that goes directly over to Jersey Avenue, still was never fixed, it still floods there, with sewage and all. Please, why would you put that school in a flood zone? Then another reason with that school, due to where, wow, the lanes are already so skinny on Jersey Avenue. Please imagine, how are these buses going to be turning in and out from a school zone there? What, you have no available parking there? Teachers conference and this and that. There will not be enough parking space for all these buses taking the kids from Lincoln School when they move up to the next level, taking the kids from Lincoln Annex, all those buses. Please, do you realize how Jersey Avenue is so skinny compared to any other road? Please, and I'm asking you, it's going to be dangerous, and I'm telling you, believe me, when I tell you something dangerous, after you can't say that I'm not wrong. I proved my point. That is not an area for a school. Wow, you have over 20 street lights, how dark it is. Wow, as long as I've been in New Brunswick, any street that I would be scared to walk down, that would be Jersey Avenue. You can barely see the dog on sidewalks as dark as it is.
There is, I don't know if you're aware, there's a full redevelopment plan for Jersey Avenue. So there is a big revitalization plan.
Well, I don't know if you ever seen the pictures due to where with the flooding zone, like I said, where the sewage mixed with it and all through there, due to where that is a flood zone, due to where with that low level there, Joyce Comer and Jersey Avenue with flooding. So that is not good for it to be a school on top of it there. Like I said, what I speak, I do prove with my pictures, so please do look into that. And then wow, with the kids, that is not a school where wow, the kids look out the window, wow, they're looking right at the graveyard on 27. Wow, things where he said that he will clean up. You cannot control Mother Nature when it's gonna flood there or not. How he said that, wow, he will clean it up. You cannot clean up that area. Then the fumes right next to the trucking company, Ryder's Trucking Company. Wow, with all these trucks going out, while the bus is too much traffic, please, believe me, like I said, I think I proved to all of you before, when I do speak upon something, it's for a reason. And please, thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Good evening once again. Charles Prattle, New Brunswick, New Brunswick Today. Can you please ask the planning director for an update on the apparent violations of the site plan approvals at the Robert Wood Johnson campus?
I can tell you that a letter came back from them yesterday or the day before, and they requested 30 days. So that puts us at March 5th. Is that correct, Dan?
Thereabouts, yes.
Yes. And I thought he forwarded the.
Yeah, but with all due respect, Mr. Dominguez requested a corrective action plan. There was no corrective action plan, there was a letter.
Please, go ahead.
While Mr. Cradaville is correct, I did request 30 days for a corrective action plan. I did send the initial letter to Scott Luthman, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. I took 2 tries there. And it did end up making its way to Frank Wong instead, who is taking the lead on it on Rutgers' side. I don't know how long it took them to get it to him. Mr. Wong sent a letter on February 5th. It didn't make its way to me until yesterday. You also provided me with a letter you received from Rutgers, same letter. And I don't think it's unreasonable to give Mr. Wong another 15 days or so, or whatever amount of time that is, till March 5th or 6th to provide us with a corrective action plan, considering that they're actually on it now.
Thank you. And so, Madam Council Vice President, you'll remember I've been bringing this up since October to the planning board, and you said that I have the support of you in this. So, at the end of the day, there's still an ongoing Americans with Disabilities Act violation at that site, which is the folks to blame for it are Robert Wood Johnson, Devco, and Rutgers. And so I have a simple question. Why should we trust them to make good on a promise to build a new school and give up a school in exchange for that promise, when this was a promise they were supposed to keep in exchange for taking over public land, Scott Street and Brown Street, and 18 years later, they still haven't kept it, and people like me have to be holding them accountable to keep those promises. Why should we trust them to make good on such a huge, promise?
I don't have an answer for that specifically, and I'm not quite sure what happened over at Rutgers. It changed hands a lot, right? That particular project, I'm not sure why they shut it down. I think we're still waiting for answers on that. We are trying to get them. We're not trying to push the problem aside. So until we get answers from that, I don't want to say that we can't trust them to do something. I'm just not sure where it slipped through. This other project is going to be very scrutinized. I mean, we want our children to have a safe place to go to school. We also want to build a cancer center that's going to help other people. It's going to bring jobs to the area, may have a cure for cancer. We do care about our children. We do care about our children. They're going to have a brand new school in an area that's completely revitalized in a part of town that's most of them are closer to.
Well, I dispute that fact, but I think that, I'm disappointed because you say it's going to be scrutinized, but you've already endorsed the project, right? You've already said you support it.
I think it's a good project for the city.
Right, even if it displaces the school and there's no good plans.
Well, I have no say over what the Board of Ed does and where they may choose a different location for the new school. That has nothing to do with us here. That's completely their decision.
It's an important part of the equation, don't you think? The replacement school?
And that's, the Board of Education is going to be working on that.
Okay, well, maybe you should get some facts about it before we approve the project to displace the current school?
I believe there will be. I mean, that's
Okay.
part of the equation that has to be solved before the project can move forward. We can't do
Okay.
it without it.
Well, I'm seriously disappointed in the lack of diligence on the part of the mayor and council. It's crazy to give up a school in exchange for a promise, especially when we're talking about the same characters who've broken promises before. I do want to share some documents with the council. I think I have enough for everybody. Thank you. And I'll give you this one as well. And so the fact that there's going to be a replacement school is based on a very flimsy plan that's been put forth by Mayor Cahill. And I want you to see for yourself here my attempts to try to get some documentation about the contamination at the site. And I went to the site. There's a sign there that says environmental investigation, contamination, and cleanup. And I called to get a status of the cleanup. The gentleman talked to me about the types of chemicals he thinks were there. But he said he took over the project in 2015, and there had already been some work on it. And he has yet to give me the name of the person who was in charge of the site. And he's yet to provide. May I have another minute?
Brief.
Thank you. So I'm also sharing with you what's available on the state website, that it is a contaminated brownfield. 131 Jersey Avenue is in no condition to be developed at this point. It would need significant remediation.
Right.
And, okay, well, then it's probably not the best place for a school if we're going to kick the kids out in 4 months. And this is going to take years maybe to replace. I think it's a bad move. And I just want to point out in terms of promises here, I do have another final document for you. So this is the city newsletter from April 2006, and I'll just draw your attention to the bottom of the 3rd page. And it's interesting to look back at, the things that the city said over time, and you'll see it's on tomorrow's menu, serving up the future, 131 Jersey Avenue. This new redevelopment site will include a 40,000 square foot medical office building. And so, I guess I just got to ask, how can you expect the public to trust that now you say you're going to build a school there? How can we trust it's actually going to happen when the city has mailed everyone in town some 14 years ago and said we should expect 40,000 square feet of medical offices, and that didn't come to pass. How can we trust that, what you say is going to happen is actually going to happen? Wouldn't we be better off insisting on getting a new school first?
Are you done with your comments?
Yeah, that was a question.
Well, I don't have an answer, because plans do change. I'm not sure why the medical facility is not going there. Sometimes economic factors come into play. And I think everybody is really looking at this, the Cancer Institute and this project as a whole in a very serious manner. You make it sound like we're not, when we are. And everybody's looking at all the facets of it. Nobody wants to displace children for no reason at all. That's not what we're trying to do. We do have children in that school space right now, and that is their home. That is a school. It's not a warehouse. And I think that some people are being misled. Some of these children are being led. They're being put into fear, quite frankly. They think they're going to be in a space where there's forklifts and there's all kinds of traffic around them. And I think that's a horrible thing to do to young children who don't know any better either. But and that's my comment on that. I don't know if anybody else has a comment.
I just want to say that understanding, what the parents were bringing forth and everything else, I think that is misleading for people to say that there's not going to be a school, that this is going to happen, that's the misleading part of the whole thing, in my opinion.
Why should we believe?
Can I finish?
I'm sorry.
This is a project that has, we have said from the beginning, to the best of our knowledge and understanding, this is going to be concurrent, both. One thing is not going to go without the other. Okay, so this is to the best again. So now it's guaranteed that this is going to, if it's happening, both are going to happen. So to put out there that it's not going to happen, the medical facility, okay, things happen. I think that this is a little bit different in that sense, and it's it's understandable if people want to have a guarantee that the school is going to happen. That's something that we all have said. We agree that this has to happen both. We are not displacing kids and putting them in a warehouse someplace that is going to be dark. And I'll be honest, I was one of those many years ago that I thought that the swing space was a warehouse until I went into it and I saw it. And that is a place that the kids are learning. I think we're putting too much attention into a building that is old, that is from 1960. I think it was one of them, and the other was even further. Instead of putting the kids that we have and the staff is what makes the building. It's not the building. So whether it's going to be at the swing space for a little bit, it's going to be a new school at the end, it's the staff that we have and our kids that make a difference, not the building. So the building itself, I don't know what so much is like the building, and I get it. The kids are going to get a state-of-the-art at the end of this school. And that's what is important to me. I want to make sure that that happens. And I have been told that that's, one doesn't go without the other. So let's make it clear to the parents and you guys put that message out there that there is going to be a school at the end of this,
Well, why should we believe that?
Well,
I'm
Mr.
not gonna put out something I don't believe.
I cannot make you believe in nobody. That's you. I am not you. I am putting, from my understanding, to the best of my knowledge and what we have been presented. One thing is not going to happen without the other. That's all I have to say. And at the end, again, our kids are the ones who are going to benefit from the state-of-the-art school, and we're going to benefit as a city, we're going to benefit as throughout the state as having a nation-recognized cancer research place here in town in New Brunswick that is going to bring a lot of employment. It's going to be a renowned researchers here. It's going to bring New Brunswick even more to the forefront in this nation. So it's a win-win situation in both sides, if you ask me. There's obviously some things that we have to have patience. That is not going to happen right away, because both are going to happen. It's going to take 2 or 3 years, 3 years. But at the end, like I said at the last time, we have to weigh in what's going to happen in 3 or 4 years from now, our kids. Our kids move from schools to school anyway, from elementary to middle school. And they're not crying, or the parents are not saying, my kid is going. So it's just how we, as adults, present to our kids, because it's a service to the kids. It's excellent that they come, excellent that we teach them, but we got to give them a complete information on the benefit, pros and cons. Not just the cons, just the pros, so for them, let them decide themselves. They're smart enough that they can decide themselves whether they like it or not. But it is fear that they won't have a school, that the teachers and all that is not fair to the kids. Again, at the end, I believe that our kids will have an excellent school. The site, it might be the site on Jersey Avenue, it might be another, who knows? You know, at this point. And obviously, we are not gonna do, the city, in my understanding, we're not gonna put our kids at risk just to put a building there, okay? So, because we're gonna make sure that it's a safe place. And the place it was contaminated, it was clean for medical facilities.
Right,
Obviously,
right.
there's more that has to be done.
There's different
But
phases.
but the site, I am confident that at the end of all this, where the school is gonna go, is gonna be a place that our kids are gonna thrive and continue thriving and doing good after we usually do whether it's in, you know, at the same time, in the same way that they do in the school, economics. So,
Thank
and
you.
your time is
So
up.
check out Mrs. Fleming's benefits since he just got here.
No,
Okay, well, then I'll just finish by saying Redshaw. Talk to the kids, listen to the kids who went to Redshaw and ask them about their
Okay. And, all right,
experiences
your
there
time's
when
up.
when
I wanna
Redshaw
make-
was in
I do
the
wanna
warehouse.
make- I wanna
Talk
make
to
one
them. I heard
comment
some of
on
them
that,
testify
too.
very eloquently
That
yesterday.
was a completely different situation in this. That school was being built with state funds, and the state funds are in now. Right now, we don't have state funds available. If we don't get this school built from a private developer, we're not gonna have a new school for a long time. There were different circumstances surrounding that project than there are here, completely different circumstances. So to equate the two of them is false.
Both were situations where the kids were left without a school and stuck in the warehouse
But-
for years.
But you're
So-
saying 10 years.
So I mean, whether it's your buddy Mr. Trent who did it, or you know, the New Brunswick Board of Education that gave it up, then it's the same outcome for the families, and I'm just urging you to speak to the children who actually were displaced with Redshaw.
Is there any other?
Please listen to them.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other public comment? Seeing none?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes. Mr. Fleming has to stay there.
Hey, I'm gonna get
Councilmember Escobar. Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.